So, judging by the title, you probably know that this is about, you guessed it, same face syndrome. So the reason why I actually started thinking about same face syndrome is I was looking through my Inktober posts and I kind of started to feel like I might have been suffering from same face syndrome during then. And also I kind of started looking back at some of my older things, and I realized that I have a lot of art tells, I guess, that tells you that I definitely drew that picture. So the reason why I actually started thinking about same face syndrome is I was looking through my Inktober posts, and so a couple of the things I do is I like to draw downturned eyes, I like downturned mouths, I like doing very full lips. I like doing baby faces where there's a small chin. The faces are kind of squished in. And I really like doing all black eyes with just a little white highlight in them. And it's not that I think that it's bad that I like to do all of these, because I do enjoy drawing like this. I do enjoy drawing this style of art. I guess my style of art. I do enjoy drawing the subject matter. Another thing that I really like to do is I will draw hair, but it's either full head of hair or bald with a flower crown. And I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I don't think that that's bad that I like doing that, but I feel like I need to switch it up a little bit more, maybe. So I did try doing something different this time. I actually gave this girl pupils, which I very rarely do nowadays. I usually stick to all black eyes like pretty much all the time. But I figured I'd do something different this time. So I gave her some pupils, and everything else I kind of stuck with the same. I mean, her eyes aren't downturned, so there's that. Her mouth is less downturned than my mouths usually are. She still has a bit of a baby face. Her face is still kind of squished in, but I feel like I did do something different. And while I don't think that it's bad that a lot of my people have these same features, because although they have the same features, I don't think they look like the same person over and over again. I just feel like it kind of looks like I'm the one that drew them. A couple of the times I did think they did have the same face, but usually I don't think they have the same face. I think they just all look like they come from my world, I guess. But I don't think it's a bad thing that they kind of all have the same look to them. I don't want people to get bored of my feed, I guess. I don't want people to be like, wow, she just did that last week, or that's literally the same thing she did 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago. Like, that's the same thing. So I thought I'd just switch, which is why I've been enjoying doing challenges a lot lately. I feel like it gives me a chance to do something other than what I do, even though my challenges are basically what I do still. So for this one, although it's a lot the same, because she does have a flower crown, she does have a jewel in place of a third eye, which is something I will often do. If I don't have a third eye, I usually have a jewel, and majority of the time do have a third eye. And she also has a couple things just floating around her, and she's also just a head in the center of the page. Now, I'm not sure if this is like an exciting or fresh or like new thing to do, or if this is like a cool look, because usually the only feedback I get is like, wow, that's so cool. Like on Instagram, usually it's like, wow, that's cool. I love it. She's cute. She's pretty, like stuff like that. I don't usually get constructive criticism, which I would love. I really want some constructive criticism on a lot of these things. And I don't usually get that. Like if someone would tell me, now I actually didn't used to do a whole lot of same faces, just because I used to heavily rely on references. I would peruse Pinstagram. That needs to be a new thing. I would peruse Pinterest and Instagram, and I would find a model or a person that I liked, and I would take that reference photo and I would just draw it, but I tweak it a little bit just to make it my style. And that was basically all I do. But that was back when I used to do ballpoint pen and Sharpie drawings exclusively. And then they all had different faces and different looks, because they were literally different people that I was referencing it from. When it started to become more of a same face syndrome situation is when I started to I just threw out all the references, and I just stuck to what I felt like I wanted to draw, what was in my mind, and I just saw it in my mind and put it on paper. I'm thinking that in order to kind of break away from same face syndrome just a little bit, because while I do enjoy what my people look like when I'm done with them, just to break away from it a little bit, I'm thinking I might go back to the references, not as heavily as I used to before. I think it'd be good just to reference, like maybe I'll look at someone and I'm like, oh, she has a cool eye shape. So maybe I'll reference just the eye shape. Or maybe I'll take another picture, reference just the lip shape or just the nose shape. And I think that translates well into my style just because it's so cartoony. I mean, I don't think it's realistic. It's very cartoony the way I draw. So I feel like that would translate well, taking reference and translating into a cartoony type of style, like just the eye shape or just the face shape or just the nose shape. I feel like that would translate well, and it would also kind of break me out of my SFS, I guess, same face syndrome. I think that would break me out of it. So I might try doing more of that in the upcoming weeks. So I just want to say that although I do think I might suffer slightly from same face syndrome, I do still enjoy the way they look. I do still think that they're cute in the end. Whenever I'm done with a drawing, I'm always like, wow, she's adorable. So maybe I need to break away from that. Maybe I need to get out of this like, wow, she's adorable, and get more into different things, I guess. I also wanted to try drawing more guys. I think if I tried doing guys, it would be less of a same face syndrome situation. Just because you can put the same features if you want on guys and girls. And I do draw guys occasionally. And actually, I have a sketch in my sketchbook right now of a guy, and I think I'm going to do him next week. But he still kind of has that same look that the rest of them have, which I guess isn't really much a same face syndrome type of thing, and that's more of a my style type of thing. So I think if I just switch it up with a couple of different eye shapes and nose shapes and mouth shapes, face shapes, I think I'd be good to go after that. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do. Anywho, that's all I have to say. So